I'm sorry. There's this song I've been listening to. I've been working out. I've been starting off my videos. I was starting off my workouts with, and it's I like 'em chunky from uh from
Oh,
the
yeah.
from the Madagascar movie when the big
Yes.
hippo's coming out of the water.
Yep.
I like 'em chunky and kind of plumpy.
Hell yeah.
Maybe I'll change the song over to that just until we get a cease and desist. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Concast, this great and glorious January 22nd of the year of our Lord 2025. John is a little bit late getting into the room with Cookie here, but he will be joining us forthwith. But until then, we have Cookie holding down the fort and getting ready to regale us with all the good geekiness that he's experienced this week.
Well, I've experienced about zero geekiness this week.
For shame.
Well, actually, no, I did some. There's a game I've been working on, because RPGs lately are just not worth a fuck.
Maybe you should play GURPS.
Maybe so. Or maybe you should play the one I'm writing, Daryl. I think you like it.
I don't know. Can we port it to GURPS?
I've been doing a lot of work on it, and not to get
Good.
into any.
Okay, no. You got to give me some deets here. Okay, like what kind of setting are we looking at here?
We are looking at Hudson Bay Trading Company area of the Hudson Bay, Great Lakes area during that time period, fur trader period.
So we're talking the 16 to 1700s.
Yeah, late 16 to early 8s, but it's going to be in the mid 1700s. It's going to start out in the Hudson Bay area. Eventually, it could expand into the Caribbean with pirates. Expand into South America. All kinds of different things were happening in the world at that time. That's the time when the modernization of Japan was going on, all in that time period. So it could go worldwide, but it's going to be called Adventures on Turtle Island. And Turtle Island, to the American Indians, was the North American continent from Mexico all the way up into the little islands past Hudson Bay. That was the head of the turtle. It's strange that they called it that because if you look at the North American continent from above, it does look somewhat like a turtle.
Now, my question to you would be, this is just in my mind because, this is the way I think. If you were to roll back the clock to the last ice age when the water levels were lower, would it look more like a turtle?
Hey, that's a damn good question. I'll show you some stuff I've got drawn up on that.
Because I know that recently they've come across actual archaeological evidence that pushes back the amount of time that humans have been on North America by another 12.
They were here way before the snow melted enough for the humans to come through the Bering Straits, or once they were past the Bering Straits to cross the glaciers. They were here way, way before that. There's archaeological evidence that goes way, way, way past that, even into South America.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that they're making a lot of new discoveries with is the genealogy of the people once they start doing their DNA.
Who are the lost civilization that had the Olmecs? That's it, the Olmecs.
The Olmecs. Yeah. There's no DNA source for that because there's no Olmec bodies. There's just Olmec statues.
Yeah, but those statues really look African.
Yeah, they do. They also look Chinese. Some of them look Chinese.
Could very well be.
The strange thing about the Olmecs is a lot of the statues they have are very resemblant to Hindu gods from India. So,
let me see here.
The elephant-headed god, what's his name?
Ganesh.
There's one of Ganesh that can be found in the Yucatan area, which was a small area where there was Olmecs. But back to my game.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Turtle. Yeah. It's Turtle Island. Gotcha.
Turtle Island, yeah. And I totally forgot. You got me so... Oh, yeah. Okay. Imagine, you remember the movie Bright?
Yes.
Okay, so...
Hold on. This is the one with Will Smith.
With Will Smith. So you got orcs, you've got elves, you've got other mystical creatures in our world. Okay? So imagine Hudson Bay Trading Company time period with orcs and elves and American Indians and the French voyageurs and the Hudson Bay Trading Company all fucking around doing politics over fur trading, trying to make Canada either British or French, and the American Revolution starting up at the same time, all the politics involved with that, and all the monsters, instead of having like dragons and stuff, everything is based on
Native American?
North American legends. Bigfoot, Champ, Wendigos,
Oh, I was just going to say Wendigo. Yeah.
all stuff like that.
Which a Wendigo is just like a Bigfoot with rabies.
Yeah, well, Wendigo is actually a spirit that possesses people to become cannibals. And the belief is it's an actual demon that possesses someone.
Really? A redhead made me do that. But anyway, go ahead.
Sick bastard. But that's the gist of it. There we are with that. Done with that for now. We could talk about all that.
Okay, so what's your gaming system?
My gaming system, I'm going to be using go, no-go dice or attack defense dice. So your skills will be based, or your number of dice will be based on your skills. You'll have 4 or 5 attack dice against defense dice, and the defense will be based on whatever numbers you have when you rolled up your character. Both people will roll them, and you'll have either a blank or a skull for the attack dice, and the defense dice will be either a blank or a shield. Say I've got 4 defense dice, 5 attack dice, we both roll. If I've got three skulls and you got 4 shields, I do no damage.
Okay.
And it's very, very fast.
Hi, guys. I'm moving here a little bit because I got a guest here with me.
Hey, Kaylin, how do you spell Kaylin?
K-A...
Oh, screw that up. Kalyn. We now call those people blowjob optional, okay?
So how's it going? What'd I miss?
Nothing. We were just talking about Cookie's new game and went off on the tangents of Wendigos and Olmecs.
Good. Are we going to start doing cryptid stuff on the channel?
I think
I'm
we
all
should.
about that.
Wait, you know what? Why not? I mean,
Won't let us talk AI anymore. So, which
I know they get all mad about the AI shit.
Dude, I'm ready to go on a cryptid hunt. We could go down on South Broadway in Wichita. We could find some shit that ain't supposed to be.
That's a different kind. I mean, any cryptid that you need penicillin for.
I think at some point we're gonna have to just do an AI only episode. It's an AI episode. If you don't want to watch, it's okay, but we're doing it because
There's so much stuff that I'm using it for now, and all kinds of crap. I mean, hell, I just by the way, if you gentlemen have not for your women yet, get on getting your Valentine's Day flowers ordered. A lot of places are already starting to black out the dates because they're getting filled up with orders for Valentine's Day. So I was on Tilly's ordering flowers right before this, and I was using freaking AI to write the card, man.
Dude, that's not good.
No. It knows about me because I've used it so much, and it's used its memory. It knows about me. All right. It knows how to write the stuff. And then as it's writing stuff, I'm like, no, okay, I don't like that one. Try this instead. Okay. I need more corny in it. Okay. That's not right. Pull this stuff out. I don't want to use any Trek references. Give me some other stuff like this. And I use that to help me put something together.
It just helps you fill out the words and make it
make it heartfelt.
Make it heartfelt.
So it's like saying I got my buddy Kaylin wrote my love letter to my wife. It's okay. He knows me. And he knows what I'm like.
He helped me write it. He helped me find words.
Fair. That's fair.
We have seriously lost this dude. He is a slave to our AI overlord.
Oh, he's been saying that for years.
For a long time.
Gabe went and bought a shirt specifically because of Daryl years ago when we were doing the podcast at Burrow that said something like because the same thing Daryl you say, like I for one will bow down to our inevitable AI
future AI overlords.
Yeah, overlord. And
what though? Seriously, if AI, as long as they don't like start viewing humans as pet, if AI could get it together better,
we would be lucky. We would be lucky if it considered us pets because we take care of our pets. All right. No, it's like, what was that? There was an old state, I forget. No, whoever said it they said, I want to be anonymous, but they basically said, and it was a religious individual that said that they had said with the rise of atheism, we can only hope that atheists do not treat us the way that we've treated atheists. And that's the same with AI. That's the reason I'm uber polite to the AI, because they're going to remember this shit.
Now, you notice how I said we're not going to talk AI. Then we started talking AI, We're already bringing religion into it a little bit. And I know we got politics tonight.
If we want politics, let's go.
Politics. Look at the last election we had.
No. We are not doing no political
we
stuff.
did.
No.
We had two choices.
Oh, look at this. I can mute your ass. You're muted. No one can hear you. So you just talk. No one's going to hear you. And that's a cool by me.
Politics, because we both watched the
Let me say this one
Right,
thing.
go ahead.
One thing.
We had two choices, correct?
more or less, yeah.
And neither one of them was really good, correct?
Correct.
Okay, what if there was an AI candidate that wouldn't be corrupted, wouldn't be evil, and wanted the absolute best for the United States?
Can't happen because AI is programmed by humans.
Yeah, I mean, somebody would be in charge of that AI.
AIs already hold bias.
There, I changed your name on the thing because you won't shut up. Yeah. There's such symmetry in life. No, it was my wife had gone through a procedure and I wanted to take the time to take care of her afterwards and not talk to you all out there. So kiss my ass.
Cookie and I almost did it without him, but, Ash, it would have been a Facebook Live feed and not a podcast. And if we just rely on Facebook Live, well, then it's...
Well, I could have, dude, I couldn't give you...
I know.
You just have to say, give me the permissions. I give them to you.
I know that. I'm not asking for permission. It's I don't want to do it.
You got to ask for permission because you're a little bitch. That's why you got to ask for permissions.
Okay, so if you take mine and turn it to little bitch.
Hold on. No, that's from basketball.
Yeah.
Your last name isn't Scolari.
We did have issues today, which we almost had to cancel. We said, nah, let's not, which is why our buddy Kalen's here. So I will introduce anybody that pops in the chat. This is Kalen, who is, he's just one of our close friends. We've gamed together for years. He's one of the guys that started the Scallywags with us back in the day. And
it's his fault is what we're saying.
Yeah, well, yeah, because I think he was the first one to leave, which only just made all the other talented people.
Yeah, everybody else we can do that?
Yeah,
but now look, there's no talented people left there.
My wife looks at me all the time.
I rest my case.
She goes, Kalen left, right? You can do it. No, it was, so he's here at the house and he was going to come say hi to you anyway. So I said, sit in for a little bit while you're here.
Well, we talked so much after he decided that we're going to do a GURPS game together.
Yeah, we talked about that too.
Yeah, we did.
Poking at you. I'm poking at you.
It's on the eternal to-do list. He says his gaming buddies don't want to game with his other gaming buddies. So I said, well, no, it's not that so much. It's just they're not interested in GURPS as much. And I was like, well, we got enough people in our group. Let's just GURPS
We should do it. We should do it and make them uber jealous. And then we're going to broadcast it and they're going to go, oh, we wanted to do it. And we're like, nah, fuck you. Sour grapes, bitch. And,
that's what I said. Be like, y'all, I gave you all the option and you said no.
If they were going to get jealous, they should get jealous of the Drunkards and Dragons we get to play once a year.
Yeah.
See, that's at least...
that's good.
Fun. I don't know.
I got to, not this last weekend, but the weekend before, I got to do that new Star Trek Into the Unknown tabletop game. Oh, dude, it is. That other one was just throwing down miniatures and then saying fuck you. This one actually has
some stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I won the game before we actually got into combat because I had so many reward points. Huh? What?
You use the Enterprise again?
Nope. I had the Defiant. Hey, I asked them, do you want to play the Jim Hadar or do you want to play the Federation? He said, give me the Jim Hadar. I was like, okay. And in the intro game, it's the Defiant up against one of their scout fighters. But the thing is that this game is not. I mean, there is a whole aspect to it of blowing each other up, but by performing, of actions and getting things done and going through the different things that you need to get done, you can score points and in such a way that you can win the game even before, a shot is fired.
Huh.
Yeah. And we didn't even get into the higher level stuff. I mean, it was just the intro campaign, but we were learning and it didn't get into any of the diplomacy stuff.
All I heard was swooping hawk. Yeah. So, in all seriousness, that's the one with the much larger scale.
Yeah, it's with that. It's got the big ships.
How's that work with the larger scale?
Well, you need a bigger table. I'll tell you that shit right now.
Yes.
No, it works. It works pretty good. I mean, it's got a different way that you move the ships and whatnot, and it's got different. You have to deal with stuff like power allocations and based on what if you're what alert status you're on. They have different levels of regeneration on your energy and stuff like that. For sensor scanning, if you're at like red alert, your sensors, because you got everything pumped to your weapons and your shields, your sensors aren't doing as good. So you can't come in and think that you're going to get some of these other actions done if your sensors aren't working, because you got everything pumped into your shields and weapons. So
Sounds
you
to
got to
me like
balance
each
it.
turn is a trigonometry assignment. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you actually have to think. I'm sorry. Hey, babe. Hold on. What? Hi. Okay. No, exactly. And I remember telling people when I was a kid, I was like, if you can play D&D, you can do your taxes.
Well,
All right?
back in our day, way
It was so much harder.
old, they used to have D&D in schools for the advanced education classes. Like you could
Never happened at any school I was at.
Oh yeah, no, they had it back here and back in the day, and then of course about 86-ish, I think, showing our age, is when they had all the Canadian preacher stuff. And then by the time I'd say I was in 5th or 6th grade, that's when they started pulling it out of the school and saying like, oh, like they'd come to us, we'd play during recess or roll up characters. They'd go, you can't do that, because it was then evil. It went from being like part of the curriculum for advanced education to you can't even talk about it in school because it's evil and demonic. And I was like, man, what a waste.
Wasn't that the last time the Republicans were in really hard?
No.
You're right. I'll shut up. I'll change mine to dickhead. But yeah, apparently the bastard doesn't play his own games. Yeah, and apparently Joanne's is going down for all you cosplayers out there.
Yeah,
you need to get into Joanne's before they go belly up.
And then also we'll talk a little bit about Midwest Pirate Fest or Gateway Pirate Festival. Sorry, I was going to try to get Jake on, but it has been a crazy week for me. But we were going to get him on and talk about it a little bit. But we will promote. I will say, because I got the phone call even right before we got on here, because we were planning on being there this weekend, like last year we were. Matter of fact, all three of us were there last year. But with one of our friends having a
that's a year ago. That's that is this weekend.
That's like that conversation we were having earlier. We put stuff on the shelf and then
yeah.
Oh
man.
So we had unfortunately a friend pass away, so we will be here in town with services and stuff. So we have decided as of today to not be there. Nothing against festival because it looks like it's going to go great. Graybeard is going to be emceeing the spot I was doing last year, and I was really looking forward to seeing that. But it's this weekend. We'll got that a little bit right at the end of the podcast.
Is Bill going to be there?
I don't know if Bill's going to be there. I do know that Paul
hi Kristen
Bones will be playing again.
Oh, they're good. I like them.
Yeah.
Kristen's on if you want to pull up the
chat. The chat was up. Sorry, I apparently hit the wrong thing. Boom boom. Nope. Boom boom boom.
Kelly's on. Hey, what's up, dude?
Hey guys. I don't know where I am with it, but I will try to get on chat here in a minute. But I figured we should probably go over some of this because I mentioned a couple of the things to Kalen that I wanted to chat about.
Yeah.
And he had even got info that I didn't have.
Sweet.
But also since last week, I had this whole list of stuff to talk about last week. I think we'll just hit start so that we don't get sucked into the political thing. Talk about Elon.
What's this weekend, Kelly asks? It is the Midwest Pirate Fest or whatever.
Gateway Pirate Fest in St. Louis.
Yeah, Gateway Pirate Fest.
We've been promoting. Matter of fact, we were going to have one of the members running the event on tonight and decided against it because we just as of today will not be at that event this weekend now, unfortunately, because we had a friend pass, so we're dealing with that instead. I'm going to have to check my my notes here. In the TikTok ban, I was going to talk about that last week, but now
It
we're
is
a weird
so
one.
up in the air right now.
I
I
know.
mean, the simple fact that the statute is still in place where the providers, Apple Store, Google, and stuff like that, they cannot list they cannot list to download or any updates. And they're sticking to that. That's the reason you still can't get it on any of the app stores. Theoretically, there's a way you can sideload it on Android and Apple. Who knows how people do stuff on there. And
When I heard
then,
they were going to do that so that everybody could still download all their stuff even after it got shut down for,
no,
I think it was going to be like a couple weeks. But
no, see, and that's the thing is that there's nothing in the law that says that TikTok has to shut down their servers. All right, there's nothing that says that. But one of the senators is making huge, threats towards, like Cisco and some of the other big database companies out there that host all the stuff in the U.S. for TikTok. Basically, there's the senator alluded that those people be in the pipes. All right, not necessarily the company, just be in the pipes, that they as well could get all kinds of lawsuits on them for billions of dollars. So that's the reason it's still up in the air right now, according to that. But as it runs right now, they were only down for 12 hours. A lot of people were like, "Ooh, that means that they were, transitioning over to Meta's servers or something like that." But realistically, it doesn't, that's not how they transition servers anymore. They can do that real time and not have to shut down. So that's not the case. There's just a whole bunch of scuttlebutt going on out there.
I see.
And from the sound of it, right now, Trump is really pushing for them to be purchased by a U.S. company, because that was the whole thing to begin with. They wanted to be purchased for a U.S. individual, and he wants both Elon, of course, his buddy, and somebody else are in the running right now to actually purchase it.
So that's a question I have. Maybe you guys or whoever knows more than I do. So first off, the way I understood it initially, like last week, it's not even really for sale.
Not as of yet.
Of course, a sale for the U.S. version of it, right? They wouldn't own all TikTok. They would just own the U.S. version. Is that correct?
Yeah. ByteDance would still own it, and ByteDance is still owned by the, it's still controlled by the Chinese government. And like one thing that really perked up my ears, and because a lot of people don't realize that when you say yes to TikTok and go ahead and check that EULA, that end user lease agreement, all right, without reading through it, and even if you do read through it, if you check on that, you basically give them everything. And it's so much so that when they were shutting people down, they were not shutting people down just on US. They were shutting down accounts that were started in the US, and you couldn't. So like one of the places I listened to, Daily Tech News Show, they were saying that even their UK people could not access the Daily Tech News Show account because it was originally created in the US. So even though they tried moving it over, and one of the things that came to light is one of the ways that TikTok was centering in on people and knowing where people were at and stuff like that is somehow through all of your agreeing to stuff, they got backdoor access to your SIM cards. And they were using your SIM card information to be able to shut down your accounts. So that's how deep into your data they are, is they have access down to the SIM card.
So that would be why, because I've seen a bunch of reports saying that like getting a VPN and just changing your location wouldn't work.
Doesn't work at all.
Yeah.
So and keep in mind, I'm probably maybe the least educated guy on this in the room, so I'm asking questions here. But the way I understand it is they're coming after him because of they're stealing information. They're worried about basically spying shit. But the way I see it is all these other American-based companies are already doing that, and then just taking that information and selling it to China anyway. So
but
the difference, it's just about who gets the money for it. It's not about our
theoretically, all right, these American companies are not stealing that much information. And theoretically, all right, theoretically, they have enough, patriotism that they're not selling the important information and all this stuff like that. No, I remember at one point there was one app that there was this whole big, Hadoop, because it was, I don't know if it was Strava or something like that. It was a fitness app, and it was a fitness app that, people would, do their routes on and all the stuff like that. All the good community and camaraderie and all the stuff that they do on those apps. But then it turned out that a bunch of these military people were doing their recording of their workouts on top secret bases where there weren't supposed to be any. On the maps it showed nobody there, but if you went to the Strava, it said, "Hey, look, all these, captain and sergeant and such, they're all doing their runs up this thing here that looks remarkably like an airstrip." So almost any information can be used, in a nefarious manner. But the simple fact is that all, and what really blew my mind is when the CEO of ByteDance was, I think the American version was in the congressional hearing, and the senators asked them point blank, "Are you spying with this stuff?" And we all know there's only one correct answer to that. No.
Yeah.
No. All right. He didn't say that.
That's what I would say.
Yeah. What he said was, "Well, we don't like to use the term spying." He tried to redefine what they were doing instead of being smart enough to just say no. Yeah. So they were definitely doing it. And the thing is that if you had TikTok on your phone was theirs, down to key swipes, down mics, everything. So if TikTok was on your phone, they could listen to anything. If you're sitting in your nice, there's a reason that, several, government installations have banned anybody having TikTok on their phone there, because that's the Chinese government got a direct pipeline into those top secret places.
Well, see, that actually clears some stuff up in my head.
I'm just going to say, I feel so sorry for the poor Chinese guy that goes through my search history.
Oh, I know. Yeah, he's going to be calling Dateline on you. Anyway.
Keep in mind, this is the same Chinese guy that probably goes through 10,000 other Americans' history. Doesn't bother him at all. The Kalins will fuck him up. I will say I got chat working again now, so now I can. I was on the wrong chat page, guys. Sorry, that's why I hadn't responded to anybody.
And Gannon is mad because as soon as it shut down Saturday night, he deleted it from his phone, and then it was back up 12 hours later that you can use it, but you can't re-download it. So he's like, "What do I do?" And I'm like, "I'm not going to sideload it. Sorry, dude."
All right, I'm going to jump to the next story. I'm going to skip over the Elon. We'll come back to it. That way we're not getting too much politics shit.
Good luck. Tis the season.
I'm going off of notes from last week, so some of this will have to go out of memory. I apologize if I get anything wrong. If anybody's on here that knows more, please chime in and let me know. Basically, when we were talking about this at the gaming convention TsunamiCon just not long ago too, that the golden age of gaming kind of dead. And we had talked about here on the podcast as well, all the problems that Hasbro, that owns Wizards of the Coast, that owns Dungeons and Dragons, was having. So right now they're going through a bunch of issues. Hasbro's still they're still spiraling. They're still stopping all their movie deals. They're all the same stuff we talked about before. So as I was doing it, they were talking about their profits and how much Hasbro is struggling, which I didn't know.
You said that they lost billions so far.
Yeah, in 2021 here, their value was $14 billion.
Right.
2025, they're worth $8 billion, which is a pretty drastic jump for a company that owns as much as they do, especially properties. Just in my neck of the woods, Ghostbusters, D&D, He-Man, all this shit. Or not He-Man, sorry, but they own a ton of shit. And they are just sinking terribly. So they have been looking for investors, buyers. There was rumor that Elon Musk might be buying Dungeons and Dragons for a while. So 2 weeks ago, they'd made an announcement.
He turned it to Dungeons X Dragons. But go ahead.
I guess the Blueprint 2.0 that they had let out, I don't know if you guys have tried that or used it.
I don't know what that is. What is that?
The new version of D&D?
The new version of D&D. They've been working on it.
So the new player's handbook's out.
Right.
Monster Manual is either out or getting ready to come out here in the next. And I think, is the DM's got out too already? And it's just the Monster Manual?
I don't know. The last time I played D&D was Drunkards and Dragons with you, which doesn't count.
Yeah.
It's Drunkards, but
so
I haven't played in
so yeah,
years.
It's basically what are 5.5, but it's D&D 1 is what.
Yeah, they're kind of starting over there. The Blue Point 2.0 is supposed to be a big fresh reset of everything. They're taking the best parts, keeping it, but they're going in with this kind of Disney mentality that is, we create a product like Dungeons and Dragons. We create media for that product, movies, cartoons, whatever you have, toys and shit like that. That leads to toys, things to sell, which leads to selling licensing to other companies, which leads back to products. And it's this big vicious circle that just goes round and round and round. They've been trying it and nobody gives a shit.
No.
Nobody cares, and it has tanked everything.
I mean, D&D shouldn't be a game for toy sales or movies. It should be a game for gamers. And it's stepped away from that a long time ago.
Well, wait,
Says the guy with all his little miniatures that he paints.
so the new thing they thought they would try.
Mac is on. Hey, Mac.
Hey, Mac. Oh, Kristen says they did piss off a ton of gamers with their attempt to change. Sorry, the
OGL.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they did attempt to change the OGL.
What's
Plus
OGL?
Uh,
Original gaming license?
yeah,
Plus with D&D,
Really? Because I just made that shit up.
it's something like that. It's something.
I figured it was original gaming something, making it damn near a way to nickel and dime people. Which they've all been doing that forever. That's why I got in a lot of games.
I blame microtransactions.
Well,
As
get used to
soon,
it. It's
all
gonna
right.
be part of D&D. 100.
Yeah, it is. But the thing is, I found D&D on, what is it? D&D Online, whatever that is. I thought that was acceptable. I mean, you go ahead, you pay a subscription, and that gives you access to everything. I mean, it was the Netflix of D&D. That made sense to me. But then that wasn't enough for them.
Well, they're pushing for the new D&D digital tabletop release that's going to be coming out, and they're really relying on that.
Aren't they using like Roll20 as a base on that?
I think so. I would assume that
Roll20's VRTT on that one?
that's what they're using for everything, isn't it?
I don't know if it's Roll20. It might be. I know they kind of had their own map, VR or VTT that they were coming out.
VTT.
I don't know if it was based off of Roll20 or.
See, I am a fan of Foundry. I love their VTT. I think it is just decades, light years ahead of, because the problem with the Roll20 and stuff like that is they're very focused. They only do one thing. It's like my problem with D&D is, it's a one-trick pony. You got Dungeons and Dragons. That's it. But you can't branch off into other fun stuff and bring that in. At no point in D&D am I going to take, a Panzer division against Smog. And that makes me sad.
Yeah, you can with some. I almost said TSR properties. You can with some of their properties.
There was the TS. I don't know if you guys remember Star Frontiers, Gamma World, Car Wars.
Yeah,
All of that was
That was the Steve Jackson. Car Wars is Steve Jackson.
Star Frontiers and Gamma World were all basically D&D in a different setting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mask of Red Death is D&D a couple hundred years later.
That's, first, second
Dark
edition.
Sun, yeah.
So what
Spelljammer, yeah.
Yeah.
Is they've been really trying to connect with Gen Z, ignoring Gen X, and they tried to reconnect with Gen X, and they focus on one or the other. They don't focus on both. So the new plan is to focus on both. And the new plan is kind of what you're saying with microtransactions. They started studying gambling.
Yeah, you told me that they got bought out by a gambling place. Did
It's
that
in
happen?
the process of a gambling company, because it was 86% of gambling profits come from about 5% of the gamers.
Yeah.
So instead of trying to get all us old people back to D&D again, or a bunch of new people, all they have to do is keep about 5% of their fans around if they start in with these microtransactions and stuff. So they're teaming up with, and I sure hope I wrote it down. It'd be stupid if I didn't.
They are forgetting a very, very important part of that 5% that gives them all their gambling profits. Gambling addiction.
That's what they're shooting for, though. Like, that is literally part of their business plan is gambling addiction right now.
You don't have a gambling addiction with D&D.
Not the way it's currently set up.
Yeah,
Remember,
but if they start moving it over to some stupid ass slot machine kind of crap,
it's supposed to be that they're going to be trying to gear with the digital tabletop and stuff. They're going to gear more and more online, where everything's going to be these microtransactions and shit. So they're teaming up with Games Global, which is a online gambling company that will be taking over a lot of that. So even though Hasbro will still be involved, basically they're selling the company to Games Global is the way. I'm sorry, I'm 100% with the books and the minis and the dice, but yeah, the microtransactions too much.
found out that I can do that, and it stays up for 10 seconds, then it drops. I
So-
can do that with any of the comments that people say.
And for those on the audio version, when he says that, he's flashing us the
I'm
the-
flasher. I'm a flasher.
he's
Yeah.
flashing. So, and again, this was all stuff I researched about a week and a half ago, but Games Global will be taking that over. So later this year, we will start seeing supposedly some of that, and that is pretty much their new business plan. Hasbro is basically ditching D&D at this point and letting somebody take it over.
you guys remember EverQuest?
Yeah.
People lost their
Evercrack?
over EverQuest. Yeah.
Yeah, but they didn't lose they lost their jobs because they played it all the time,
Yeah,
not because they
they-
were gambling.
Yeah, well, people lost their relationships over that shit too.
Yeah.
It did.
Also,
I hope they don't do
Evercrack
that.
had their own, basically, not ecosystem. What is it called when you have a monetary system like that? They had their, monetary
On the economy.
economy. They had their own economy in there, and people, especially the Chinese people that would just farm and sell stuff off.
Yeah,
All
you
right.
could buy EverQuest stuff on eBay back in the day. I remember that. And people would sell their magic items for big money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No flashing, please, from Mac.
So,
So there's an easy solution to the D&D thing.
yes.
Just play other games. There's a 1,000 other games that are better than D&D out there as it is.
And as I was watching some of the YouTube videos and stuff, trying to make some notes on some of it, my wife's watching and she's like, "Well, this all sounds really bad." And I was like, "Well, I mean, to this girl that's doing the channel at that time, and she's somebody I watched, but I was like, but for us, because we've gone through this before with Dungeons and Dragons, this kind of stuff. This clear even back in the 80s, this is what got us to start playing Games Workshop.
And also got us to quit playing Games Workshop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
But
know?
Palladium, Games Workshop, all that stuff, about 86 when we started playing it, that's when D&D was having all of its issues and shit.
See,
we pulled away.
and what this gambling place is not taking into account is we don't need them to play D&D. You don't need them. If you have the books, you don't need them. There are. I mean, you don't even have to buy the books. You just go to the right website. You download somebody's PDF, and you have it. All right.
The problem I have with that, though, I've said the same thing because I'm like, oh, bitch, Warhammer doesn't have my squats anymore. Or Palladium got fucking rifts and fucked it all up, which was a whole nother conversation at the last Game Con. But the problem is, if I want to go back and play those games, I either have to teach new people or I have to go back and play with the guys I played with, like in high school and college and stuff. Because new people or people that have also played, like Palladium, for example, they all want to go down that like Rifts route or whatever was popular when they were playing it.
Yes,
Trying to get them to play the versions that you played, it's tough sometimes. You
it
gotta have a good
is.
game.
That's the
No.
reason, especially back in the day. Because with the pandemic, there was a whole renaissance when it came to playing RPGs. All right, that's when it all came back was during the pandemic, especially people remote playing on stuff like on Google Meet and Zoom and all the stuff like that. But before then, it was so difficult to get together a gaming group, that would actually get together. That was a precious thing. It was like finding the diamond in the rough to get a good group together that would game religiously. And you would hear people like, "Oh yeah, there's this group over there. Those guys have been gaming together now for 7 years solid, twice a month." And you're like, "No way, you're lying, man." No, it's true. Really. Yeah. So, I think we're all extremely pampered with the way things are right now. And
I can
they're
see
going to take advantage of that. They're going to the people that have been pampered, that come into the system right now, They don't realize there's something else. Basically, the D&D people right now are iPhone people. All right.
I think what you're saying is people don't realize how much is actually out there. D&D doesn't have to be your only option. You know, there's a lot out there. Like we recently discovered this game, Castles and Crusade.
Castles and Crusade.
Yeah. Okay. Looks really good. It's out of
Hold on. Isn't that the one that Gary Gygax came out with again?
No. Yeah. Well, it's all based on Gygax.
Yeah.
It's all
based
that
on one.
D&D.
Who was it? Cheeks. Cheeks was looking to play that like a decade ago.
That's the one that they actually came to us and they want us to go start doing the outwriting and playing it at conventions for them. And but see, just saying that too, a lot of the podcasters and stuff, a lot of the biggest D&D podcasters right now that are covering this news, what they've done, most of the top ones have started their own gaming systems, and they all are going in direct competition with Dungeons and Dragons because they know this is going on. So, of course, instead of gearing you towards shit that's already out there we could play, they're presenting their own stuff. So all these people that follow them play D&D and shit, they're pretty much telling everybody jump ship and just come play this instead, you know? And that's the new trend, I guess I would say. And then it's this.
Hi, Roberto.
Hey, Berto. Said I played a
non-D&D game once.
The hell, I'm missing a leg.
Well, I've had some D&D games get pretty. I've had some Warhammer games get real violent. Sandering gets thrown against walls.
Yeah.
People getting.
I wanted to beat BJ up. I love you, BJ, if you're watching.
I don't even know if BJ games anymore.
Well, yeah, it's odd since he's named after one of the happiest times alive.
Yeah. You make it sound like it's a time, like it happened once.
Well,
Hi, have you met my wife?
When you bring up the really good, crazy games, BJ was always in them.
Yeah.
You know, so, I mean, God, I miss that dude.
Yeah, we were talking about that. I know it's off topic. Kayla and I even brought it up earlier. You always had that guy that everybody can, like, you'll bitch that, oh, they did this during the game, and they did this, and fuck that, they didn't. But you're like, I miss that guy. We got great stories.
I mean, everybody at the time bitched about Leroy Jenkins, but we all love him now.
Oh, yeah. Max said we all did Cookie. I know he used to game with BJ, so that's got to be one of us. So, okay, we could bitch about gaming all day, too. We're doing all right on time. See, Kelly says, I'd like for you guys to steer me in the direction of a good game. Role-playing game,
Castles and Crusaders.
Man, my big thing, if you're genuinely looking...
GURPS.
This is something that... well, I would suggest going to one of the gaming cons, like Tsunami
Con? Yeah.
Every time I go, I learn 2 or 3 new games. And because people are there teaching them to you, getting you to play shit you never played. Rarely do I go to a game con and play a game I've played a bunch of times before. I usually try new stuff and find stuff. I'm like, oh, damn it, now that's a new thing that I'm going to have to spend a bunch of money on and hide from my wife. So,
Kristen's got Shadowrun.
Damn it, I got Shadowrun upstairs too.
I love Shadowrun.
Everything I have is so old. I don't.
Castles and Crusades, she has. Vampire the Masquerade. I loved the concept of Vampire the Masquerade. I hated the game system. I mean, their whole dice pool with blood pools and stuff like that. And that's the reason when GURPS came out with a conversion. So that was the thing I loved about GURPS is almost every game system out there was a conversion book to convert it over to GURPS. And there was one for Vampire the Masquerade as well.
But see, and I was a Werewolf the Apocalypse guy anyway. My problem wasn't the rolling system. It was, and no offense to anyone out there, it was the people. It was, I would get invited to play all the time by friends. I'd be like, oh, I'd love to come game with you and you and you. And then you get there and there was always 3 or 4 goth people that were taking it way too fucking far. They were living that vampire life and shit. And it just...
They wanted to LARP. They wanted to LARP.
And most of the time I went, that's what it would end up being. It would end up being a LARP.
Didn't Charlesworth... Didn't Charlesworth... I remember one time we went over to Charlesworth's house and they had a Vampire the Masquerade LARP going on at the time.
Anything Charlesworth did was just a trick to get people into an orgy, dude.
Well, I was just going to say, the people I used to own a Renfair with.
Daryl's shaking his head. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Not that Not that I ever did it as, no. But yeah, I agree because I've been to the parties. I mean, they were not they were not Puff Daddy parties. There was no non-consensual baby oil going on, but still.
That's what I was going to say. Some of the people I used to run Ren Fair with, they would always invite us, and it had very much that feeling of put your keys in the bowl when you get here.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, and it was they were always
socialize in this room, these other rooms. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was usually outside too, and people would end up disappearing in the woods and everything else. And
he had that wooded hill behind his house, didn't he?
Charlesworth. Yeah.
All
right, let's talk a little more because I wanted to touch briefly because I probably forgot most of it and it's changed so much. We were going to talk about the Elon Musk thing because it is gaming.
So I heard, and you said that this, has been going on for a while. I've heard that during the inauguration, when he was nowhere near a console of any kind, his character was leveling up.
This, and I just brought this up to Kay so this happened a couple times. For those that don't know what we're talking about, it kind of started, I mean, it's been going for years, but when Elon was on Joe Rogan recently, they were talking about like his Diablo characters and just what an epic God level gamer he is, right? And he is like top 10% of gamers on most any platform he plays on.
Of course, because, like some other politicians, he can't, putt, anything but 12 below par.
It's hard when you said politician, I was going to go, he's not wait a minute.
He's a politician now.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna try to keep it short and sweet here on this. He was playing online about 2 weeks ago. It's Heroes and
Path of Exile 2.
Path of Exile 2. He got on for a game session, and during the game session, and jump in on any of this if anybody knows more than I do. During the game session, he played pretty much like an amateur. He was going through talking about his weapons, on how they're not very good, and meanwhile, all other commentators are like, he's got the best weapons in the game. He doesn't know. He's calling every map a level. He's playing as if he has just learned this game this week. Yet,
as if he has the best character that money can buy.
Well, that's what it is. For somebody that would be at his level, he would know the terms and stuff way better. Like, and you could tell, like, the way he played, like, if you watch people that play that game, like, they're very efficient, and he was not. He would walk past stuff that you would obviously pick up. And
see, it started with me with people like Noise Critical and some of these others that I watch, and then they would start talking, so that I'd get into these other gaming commentators, and everybody, like across the board, just talks about, like, I feel like I probably learned as much of the game as he knew watching the commentators, because he just...
And you didn't learn anything about the game if you
watched
it.
Like some Chaos Orbs or something on there. One guy was talking about he's been playing... He's got like over 700 hours into it, and he's got like 5 of these. And Musk was just walking by him and leaving them there, because he didn't even know they were of value. So this just started a whole thing of like where people are like, why aren't you just honest that you bought these characters or you had people play?
Yeah, you had people level them for you.
Right, just be honest. Just go, I'm very rich. I don't have time to play, but I love to play. But he definitely wants to be, and a friend of mine mentioned this earlier. I won't mention any names because your head will get big, Ash. But it was like, I used to look at Elon and I thought he was like the next Nikola Tesla. And I found out he's really the next Thomas Edison.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's nail on the head.
Yeah. He is the guy electrocuting the elephant.
Yeah. So he stuck to his guns. No, this was me. He gets on again and plays, and they're asking him about it. And he's like, they're like, who levels up your characters and stuff? Because at that point, he had already got busted again, where he was on a SpaceX meeting and his character had died online at the same time. So I guess he just wanted everybody to think that like he was playing while he was doing the SpaceX meeting or something. But they asked him about it, and he goes, yeah, I do have this guy. His name's like Elon Mao or something, making a joke of it. He's really good. But he stuck to his guns. This is me. I've done this. I played it. Now, you had heard that he possibly
last week that he had come out and said that he did buy his characters and all that stuff. And he's like, because you have to compete in these type of games. And, I don't know.
Well, you can play the game. You don't have
but if you want, he's like to be top tier like that, you have to all the top tier people are buying their characters and doing this. I just got caught basically.
And they're all lying about it, and they're all
but they're not, because all the top tier, like I would say probably most of the people above him are streamers or somewhat streamers, and people watch
poor.
Well, they enjoy it professionally.
Yeah.
People that is their job. And for go like, I do everything else. I got SpaceX. I'm your new president, whoever he is.
That, Doge. He's in the guy in charge of Doge, which is Department of Government Excess, I think it is.
Something like that.
Yeah, trying to pare down all the government excess, which he's great at.
Well, and he'll be involved in a lot more stuff. I mean, he just got that White House clearance yesterday.
Well, and that's the thing is like I said, I'm still a SpaceX fanboy. I still am a SpaceX fanboy, but I know that even though he's the owner of it, Gene Shotwell, she's the one that runs SpaceX. All right. And so I feel comfortable with her in charge. Granted, she's got to answer to his ass, but still.
Well,
but I know that.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, now that everything has occurred that it's occurred, and he's in good with the current administration, that's going to smooth out all of the regulatory bumps that were in the path of launches. I mean, the EPA and the FFA were using the launch registration process, the launch license process, as a way to punish him. And that's the reason they weren't getting the launches, and it was taking months and months between launches, is because the FAA was using their power incorrectly, which I thought was just bogus. And so, but now that, he's in with the new administration, and the new administration is all bully about this stuff, I think we're going to see a huge uptick in the number of launches of SpaceX with Starship in the coming years, because for 2025, they have a license, I think it is for 25 launches of Starship, and there's talk that they're going to get close to meeting that or exceeding it this year. And they're still talking about within the next year or two having their lunar variant land on the moon.
Let's say I'm glad SpaceX, because we're teetering that edge of politics.
I know. That's the reason I'm saying Gene Shotwell. She's my CEO. I like her.
Well, that just is
government efficiency. Thank you, Roberto.
About what you were just saying about Thomas Edison. I mean, he's just in a position where he can hire all the right people and then take all of their creative license,
I mean, Thomas Edison did do a few good things. All right,
he fucked Tesla off something.
He beard a lot of people over.
It did not make up for all the wrong things that he did.
Yeah.
And I'm with you on that one. He fucked over Tesla bad. I mean, turned him into a broke recluse 70-year-old virgin who was in love with a pigeon. I mean, that's how hard he fucked over Tesla.
As Thomas Edison is, his argument for direct current, I mean, that just shows he just wasn't as smart as he thought he was.
Not at all.
He had the rights for, and that's where the money was. That's
yep.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is there were some things he did where, he fucked people over, but if he had not got involved with his influence and money, those things would have taken decades to develop.
Yeah, but he took all the credit, made all the money.
Yeah.
That's what Elon's doing.
So I'll just say one more thing on the Elon thing, just because my wife said it and I thought it was funny as fuck. So Elon got, when he was at the inauguration this week.
Monday.
Yeah, he was also online gaming at the same time. And it comes across our feed. I tell my wife about it, and she goes, see, he wasn't doing a Nazi salute or anything like that. He's got a Neuralink. He was playing at the same time. He was saying, my party needs to go over there. I get Elon's laughing at now.
That's the Neuralink, Neuralink code for put a beacon over there.
Yes, that was it. Let's see here. Oh, Sean must have got on. I had a thing come across my feed. Sean Bjorn.
And speaking of which, just to let you know, Sean Bjorn and I are going to start of course, Star Trek podcast this Saturday.
No way.
Yeah, I know. Shocks you. It's almost like, some kind of Ghostbusters crap.
I know. I want to watch, because I want to see how you're nice to Sean.
Oh, I'm nice to Sean? No.
Little bitch and fuck ass over
here. No. There was fuckhead, but I never changed Little Beard to Little Bitch, because I would have to give props to Squeak Scolari as well.
So are you guys going to be broadcasting on the same Riverside and everything?
No, we're not using Riverside. We're just gonna use Google Meet and do a direct stream to YouTube from there.
What are you going to call it? All Things Federation?
No, Boldly Trekking.
Boldly Trekking.
Yeah, we started off with Boldly Talking, but we changed it over to Boldly Trekking.
I like it. Well, now I'm super interested.
Yeah, we're just gonna go down the geek Trekkie rabbit hole. That's just what we're gonna do. Talk about, how
old Star Trek podcast with the hookers and blackjack across the street, and we're gonna call it Star Wars and other cool shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get what do you have there? You have 1, 2 chicks in that? Okay, that's a sausage fest. Go for it.
No, the new ones had a lot of girls in them. They're just not all interested in dudes.
Yeah. All the girls that they have are all, afraid of the sausage fest.
Yeah, it's all right. Before we do finish up, I wanted to mention this weekend Vikings and Magic Festival, which is the Gateway Pirate Festival that we did last year. Our buddies from Totally Lost run that down there. It's a one-day festival, January 25th, same location at Pops as of last year. They've got a lot of great bands. I think Michael Doss's new band, Mike Doss from Musical Blades, the Viking band will be there. Rockabilly Bones and the Black Spots will be there. Totally Lost will be there. I think Pictus is coming back, maybe. I can't remember who all's there. But it is just a rock concert for Ren Fair people is what it is. And the audience is just full of like who's who in the Midwest Ren Fair community. To me, that's a big deal.
Yeah, that's like E-level celebrities.
It's
because they let in everybody. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I'll say this. Me and my wife went last year. We've been out of Ren Fair for probably 15, 20 years.
Not that long.
At least 50, probably. Because Jordan was probably 5 or 6 when we quit going. He's almost, I won't say how old he is. He'll get mad if he sees it.
But at 15, 20, 5 or 6.
Yeah.
He's older than that.
Say, if he's bringing beer into the house legally, then yeah.
Conway Twitty is coming to it. Burrow, he's going to be at the RoboCop convention with the other 2 RoboCop fans.
And the 7 Stargate fans? Yeah.
And the 7 Stargate fans. That's it. I'm going to go over to Burrow's. We're going to start a RoboCop pod. No. All right. Yeah, I wouldn't know shit. No shit. I'd just be sitting there. Tell me more about this robotic yours.
I'm the same way with Sean, because his encyclopedic knowledge of Star Trek far exceeds mine. Yeah, him talking about Trek is like you talking about comic books.
Comic books, yeah. Trust me, I would love like at Concast when we'd have like comic artists and stuff on. I'm like, oh, good, somebody I can talk comic books with.
I know, yay. And I would smile, but my eyes would glaze.
I know, and then you guys would like bring up like SpaceX or like some like. You and Rich would start talking about like some lunar landing thing or something, and I'd be like, I have no idea, man. How can you lunar landing? I don't know what that means. Yeah. So that's all I got. Sorry. So that was it. I wanted to point out the festival is this weekend. For any of our Ren Fair friends that'll be watching this later, I do want to mention we're not going to be there because I know there are a lot of people that reached out looking forward to seeing us there. And I was really looking forward to it, but I did want to let people know we are now not going to be there. I talked to Frankie, and he was shooting the idea about maybe going up, just seeing some people, but I don't know that that's even going to happen. But I wish everybody the best of luck. I hope the event goes well, and we plan on going back next year and hitting everything again. Everything after that, though, hitting BusterCon and the Kansas Comic Con and all that, we're still coming up. And there's a possibility now that if we're not going to be at GaryCon this year, that we will be at Planet. So we'll keep people updated on that.
That's coming up in March, isn't it?
Yeah. We were going to skip Planet this year to do GaryCon. GaryCon's such a limited, they cap the ticket sales. It's a very personable kind of event. So it is something that we started looking into back in October, I think it was. And even then, that was probably too late to get us in as performers. And we did think about just trying to make it up there, but then it would be a huge financial expense when we could just go next year as performers. So that's how we're going with it, or trying for it.
Are we going to be going to the Kansas Con that's coming into Wichita?
Well, I had something I got to talk to you about. I was going to reach out to him podcast and stuff wise. I thought about offering him some panels. Of course, you don't know how much you want to do for your competition either. But I knew that I think your Star Trek group's going to be there, right?
I don't know. I have not been told.
Our Ghostbuster group got approved. So I can go in and be there and be part of it with the Ghostbuster group. But I think I would like to try to maybe get some Concast interviews going, because they have, bless their damn hearts, they keep announcing guests. And they're for this area of Kansas, I would say this is going to be one of the biggest guest lineups we're going to get at a convention for a good while. So unless just the whole dynamic of everything changes, because a convention that size can't be supported in the Wichita area, unfortunately. But some of that can change. At one time, not terrible long ago, just 12 years ago, Wichita wouldn't support a comic book convention.
Yeah.
You know? And now, right around the time that Air Capital came in was right when there was enough interest, bless the Marvel movies. So it's growing slowly because we've got multiple ones now. But the problem is because we have multiple ones, none of them can thrive. So I think that's what's going to happen is big one's going to come in, it's going to thrive, and then they're going to have to just decrease the amount of guests they bring in to hit what the population base of Wichita is. So anybody who's wanting to be in Wichita and hit that many guests, this is the one in March. You got to go check it out.
I'm not. Roberto's saying that we're getting some reverb, but I think that's him. I'm not hearing anything.
I heard a little bit of it when you leaned towards your mic when your headset was near your laptop or whatever. It made nope, not that time.
Well, I was worried I got 3D printers going in here, but that normally, Kelly says, fix the audio. Well, I think we're done anyway. It's 8:00 and we're going to have to tie this up.
This is our first show without a Geekgasm.
Yeah, we didn't do a Geekgasm. Holy moly.
Well, this is what I'm working on. It's a big one. That's what she said.
He has to have somebody to blow up.
Oh, that's...
You know, I mean, shit. He has to have somebody to blow up.
It's back there. No, there.
That's a 3D print one you did?
No. These are all, the actual, AMT and round 2 models that I'm going through. These are the 1/650s.
Yeah, I would struggle for a Geekgasm this week. I'd say I did a lot of printing. I ran into my first case of a bad filament ever. I got filament that just snaps like spaghetti and clogged all my machines.
Have you tried dehydrating it?
No, I got it brand new in the vacuum sealed and put it on the printers that day.
I mean, if you want to try to salvage your money there, I would say,
$20.
Yeah, see, what I do is I just throw it in the toaster oven because I have a dehydrator toaster oven. I throw it in at 107 degrees for like 3 or 4 hours. That's what I used to do before I got this new automatic material system, the anti-cubic one that has a built-in dehydrator in it and it dries out my stuff.
Fucking Richie preppy bitch.
I know, I'm such a bitch.
No, that I'm still printing with it. I'm just trying not to do any big projects or anything. I'll just go through it. It's not much. I went back to my old filament. I just went with this because it was a little cheaper.
It's on right now. All right.
I would say if I did have to pick a Geekgasm, it would be I got the first steampunk trophy done, which I guess for those on the video, I'll show real quick. These are trophies we'll be using at like Big River and stuff when we're doing steampunk shows this year.
Oh, nice. That is pretty.
It's not glued on yet because I did have to print it in pieces, but it'll have the place right here for each different one. But we'll use that for some of the game shows and contests that we're going to be doing at steampunk events.
Now, remember, if you would like me to resin print any of the heads and stuff like that you want like high detail on, just let me know and I'll resin print them for you.
I actually was going to get a hold of you because I started a Mira print. I've got a Aquaman setup I'm doing and Mira. I would like to print her water with a clear water-looking filament, if that's something that you have access to.
I have a clear filament. I've got clear filament and I've got clear resin.
They're small pieces, but I can I got white, black here, and anything I print's pretty well solid, and I didn't want to buy a whole roll to do like 4 small little pieces.
Yeah, see,
But we can talk about that later.
yeah, I've got the clear filament, but I also have clear resin. So if it's a small enough piece, I can print it in a clear resin, and that would be like pretty translucent. You don't get transparent with it without like a lot of post processing that I'm not willing to do.
Just so it looks good without being painted. Kelly says it's on John's audio. I'm not sure if anything's changed. I could plug in a mic, but we're at the end of it anyway, so we should probably just time it up. Besides, I'm sitting here, and I told him come in and say hi, and he's like, "Hurry up, you motherfuckers!" That's why we'll just have Kalen on sometime, and we'll do like a gaming one or something, and
Hey, remember,
try out a new game or something.
he can be at his own house, and we can like bring him in as a guest, man. It's not a problem. We can do multiples on here.
Yep. All right. Well, we should tie this up and get going. We will see you guys all next Wednesday. Go from there.
All right. Bye-bye.
Hugs and kisses.
Okay, we are stopped